Simulations has been embraced in the aviation community for decades, primarily or almost exclusively for aviators or pilots up front.
The opportunity to be able to get proficient prior to getting in an aircraft, there's just nothing that can compare to it.
Bring it to one of them, the one that's closest to you, I would suggest.
Okay.
If your first time rescuing somebody off the deck of a ship is with somebody standing behind you that's done it before and you're doing it for the first time, I'm not sure I want to be the guy on the deck of that ship.
Bluedrop USA is a training company that develops rear crew helicopter simulators as well as courseware and courseware products.
We can go through hundreds of reps and sets of that training scenario. You can get it wrong, you can fail often, and then you can work on those procedures and really get it to the point where you have the skill set down, and then let's put you in the helicopter and get out in the real world.
Let's try forward.
We're at our Orlando headquarters in Research Park, which is kind of the heartbeat of modeling and simulation.
Bluedrop is really the only company that has a rear crew simulator with the fidelity that we have for hoist training specifically. So the ability to feel the real cable, feel all the haptics, wait as if it was real life. No one else has something that compares to that.
There were early attempts, probably a decade ago, to incorporate some simulations training capability for our non-rated crew members. The technology had not developed to the point where that was a useful opportunity.
So we just go out with them and they'd show you, this is what you do what I'm doing, don't do this, don't do that, and don't do this, and that was pretty much it, and they'd sign you off when you got back.
Training technology is here. We have the syllabus technology, we have the instructor staff.
Finally have technology that allows that high fidelity, and haptics gives that rear crew member that high fidelity that lets that training be so realistic.
And then you can start economy, and once I've cleared you to hoist.
We use both in virtual and mixed. The key with the mixed reality is that you can see your actual hands, you can see the gun in the case of our gun simulator, you can see the hoist cable, but then everything else is virtual, so you're allowed to practice actually using your hands, touching the equipment, but then in a virtual safe environment.
Safety is by far, the number one. That is the number one factor when it comes to simulation and what these devices provide for customers. Not actually being up in the air, committing yourself to unnecessary risk. It eliminates all those things.
I'm a little lower on the wheel.
Gives you a level of proficiency before you get in the aircraft, which hasn't been available until just now.
Conducting hoist training is extraordinarily important for especially medevac crews or search and rescue crews, so that they can do all of that in a controlled environment regardless of what the outside weather or what the maintenance status of the aircraft is.
Virtual reality has been around for a long time. The thing that I love the most about our simulators is it's not just virtual reality, it's mixed reality with it. You're physically moving and seeing what you're doing, you're seeing yourself, you're seeing everything that's happening around you. The difference between regular virtual reality and our mixed reality is that people are physically there without being there.
Just to judge his distance.
Besides having, a giant fan and sand blower in your face, this thing really puts you into the immersiveness of being on a helicopter. You feel your legs are hanging off the 60 behind me, or you feel that actual motion of the cable.
The customization basically is like picking a location and designing things to be as realistic as possible. It could be anywhere in the world. We customize it based off of the geography, off of whether they want buildings, do they want boats, do they want to save people.
We can swap between multiple different aircraft types rather quickly.
The door gunnery simulator that Bluedrop produces now is a mixed reality simulator, and that affords the non-rated crew member, the door gunner, to look down and reload their aircraft, clear weapons jams.
We have full AAR functionality through the devices, so you can record the whole session and go back and replay to analyze the performance of the student.
Bring yourself a little bit closer to the edge.
Enlisted soldiers that have tested and used Bluedrop products, every one of them has come out and said, we need this in the operational force, and it's the best on the market. It meets and exceeds any of their training expectations.
We've had some great key customers here in the U.S. We have built 2 simulators for CAL FIRE, obviously focus on that search and rescue, the SAR world. We have a bunch of products out there and a lot of satisfied customers.
We've partnered with them to help our crew chiefs be able to simulate things that we can't actually train with in the helicopter, different type of emergency procedures. Simulators are the future, less risk and more ability to do different things to maintain proficiency with the crews and build confidence in the cockpit.
Forward 10.
been great partnering with Bluedrop. When we got out here, it was very impressive, very surprising to see, and I'm excited to see them expand in the industry.
So in addition to the training outcomes, there's also an efficiency of the resources. Flying a helicopter to do hoist training is a cost of $4,000 to $6,000 an hour, depending on the aircraft. Plus you have the distraction. The aircraft is away from its mission. You need pilot, you need a co-pilot, you need a mechanic. Using simulators allows you to train without all of that. From a financial perspective, it's highly efficient.
How's that? You feel comfortable?
Best thing about Bluedrop are the people here.
The team is top notch. We have guys out of the 160th Special Operations Group. Those guys have been there, done that, are basically at the top of their field. We have a senior advisor on the staff who ran the Army Center of Excellence for Aviation. We really bring a really skilled staff that knows what the end customer needs and can work with them. We want to build the best hoist operators, the best gunners, the best rear crew operators that we can do cost effectively and at a safer way than the current OJT type training.